see it? The gears look pretty good, but watch. You see? I don't think it's supposed to do that. But I mean, that thing sounds like beautiful, you know? Minus the little belt sound that it's making. Back, YouTube man. So we been waiting on this starter to get here. It was supposed to get here yesterday, but I guess it was tied up in Tampa. I guess we can't put the blame on Amazon, man. They get thousands of packages a day, making millions, and they gotta, deliver every single day. So I mean, the truck's been down for like a week. So one more day ain't gonna hurt nobody. I'd rather it get here safely in one piece than, man, these Amazon drivers, man, just all the packages. I actually had an Amazon driver the other day. Man, it was a rainy day, and this man done come up and did like little baby burnout or mudslide in my front field where I live at. I was like, man, that's what these people be doing on their free time. But I mean, shit, everybody has to have a little bit of fun at their job place, so I'll get my package in time. But anyway, so yeah, so we're waiting on that starter to get here, and then we are still waiting for some other parts to get here from Summit Racing. But when I ordered the parts, the guy told me that maybe some parts will get here faster than others because of the whole COVID thing, which is still fine. We still got like a month and a half till we actually need them done for Classics in November. Yeah, so we're waiting on the starter to get here, so we can get that going. Once we get that, then we're gonna go and change out the hubs so we can fix that traction control, so we can be able to move them tires how we want them, so we can try them out. And then after that, I'm gonna wait for everything to get here and then try to install everything that I ordered for the motor all in one shot. So basically it can be like a transformation, because if I just put a part here, a part there, I don't think that it gives that wow factor. I mean, it probably does, but I mean, I just wanted to, one day open the hood and it just looks like a regular little baby 6.0, and then the second time when I open up the hood, man, that thing's got everything. So I've been looking to add a few extra things. I don't know whether to do a nice beefy shiny what's that thing called, intake manifold. I would like to do a Holly one, but I think the Racing Summit ones are still pretty good. All right, I had to stop at the bank real quick to get some money out. But yeah, so like I said, I was looking at getting the intake manifold. I'm gonna do these black valve covers, and then the ones that I'm gonna get have coil pack melts on them, because I want to do red coil packs, just because, like, I mean, I like the red look. I mean, it makes me feel like I got a little racing truck. So I'm gonna do a black valve cover with coil mounts on it, so I mean, just to give it that extra little race look, or make me feel like I got a little bit of racing thing going on. But so yeah, so I want to do the black valve covers. I think the ones that I was looking at would say Chevrolet on them, but I could get solid black ones or something. I mean, I don't know, but I want black ones. So I don't know whether to do a black intake manifold, a Holly one, or do a shiny stainless steel Holly or Racing Summit intake manifold, because I want to give a little bit of contrast. So, but the Holly one, I would either want it black do the fuel rails just now, but I want to do a nice one of that. Get me the Holly throttle body, and then do the cold air intake that I'm getting. You know, like I said, I'm new to this racing stuff. We're like adding like extra performance parts. So comment down below what you think. Which ones do you feel would probably work best or look best? Or comment and let me know what do you think. The Holly intake, I think I was looking at the Sniper one, I think what it is, or the Summit Racing one. Both brands are pretty badass, so either or is a good choice. Then I was gonna do a Texas Speed cam, but I think I'm just gonna do a Summit Racing Stage 3 cam. I was talking to the Summit Racing parts guy, and he gave me a pretty good price on the cam with all the stuff that I need to do, so it'll work badass with my truck. So like I said, man, the Classic is like a big boy car show, man. I don't care what other car shows anybody else been to or none of that stuff. Like, man, this is big boy shit down there. Everybody goes, but man, if you're trying to play in that game, man, this is big boy shit. There's probably people dropping 500 racks on their cars right now. There's probably so many cars in the shops right now trying to get ready. A lot of celebrities be out there, all the YouTubers, man, everybody who's anybody be out there, man, but only certain ones get to play in that game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that we need to drop a little bit of motor work in it to be able to do a little baby burnout, pull up on the scene. We got the music. I know we're gonna have the music stuff on lock. I don't have none of that opening the tailgate stuff, but man, we got that cramming. That bitch looks good. You know what I'm saying? So but we need to get the truck running so we can get all that going. Man, what is up, YouTube? We're back. Today's the next day. So yesterday when I was recording, man, you hear that thing? So we got the starter in. We put the starter in last night, and man, this thing fired right up. I tried, like I said, I tried all the stuff that I told you I had did in the other video before this one, I think it was, and we came to the conclusion it was the starter. And we took the starter out, and we put the new one in, and the battery was dead, so it didn't fire up the first round. It did want to crank up, but that battery was just dead. The truck was sitting for like 2 weeks. And once we put the jumpers box on it, man, that thing fired right up. And look, we in there again. So big shout out to my pops for putting in the work last night and helping me put the starter in. We're actually gonna buy him a little gift today for doing that. Nothing too major, only like simple stuff. But anyways, so I'm out doing a few little missions, but when I get back home, I'm going to show you the starter and how it looked. And man, that thing was just fucked up. So I'm glad we swapped it out. We don't got to run around doing other missions no more. And yeah, man, now we can continue doing the upgrades and doing all that shit, and get it right for November time, and man, start doing these little burnouts and shit. So thanks for subscribing, all the new subscribers. Again, subscribe. I'll stay updated with the truck. My people on my social media, and someone gave me some ideas. I thank y'all for that. I just had to dig a little bit deeper and do a lot of trial and error. And look, we back on the road again. So, and when I get back to the crib, I'm gonna show y'all the starter and explain a few things to y'all. So let me grab the starter that I took out, and let me show you what it looked like. Look, this is how messed up it was, guys. I've never swapped out the starter in this thing. And look, you see it? The gears look pretty good, but watch. You see? I don't think it's supposed to do that. So what I'm guessing was it probably sits still, and then when it finally took a dump, this was probably like pushed back and it was probably arcing out or touching inside. So when I went to go try to like jump start it, I guess you can call it, whenever I tap the power to constant to turn it on, that's why it would arc out, you know what I'm saying? So the mechanisms inside were probably touching, and so figure it was just touching like power on ground. So every time, you know, I'd send that power in there, it would just, you know, spark instead of trying to crank over. So look at this thing. And I'd run my truck a lot through the car wash, and it washes the undercarriage. So that was probably one thing. Number two is probably so old and it was bound to give out. And number three, man, I probably started this truck up so much, you know, being on the road, it was bound to give out. But that was probably one of the main things. That sound right there, it probably explains a lot of stuff, what was going on with my truck, because sometimes I'd start it up and it'd make like a clink 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 sound. So I think I used to think that I had like exhaust that was like coming apart or something that was just rubbing up against it, but really it was just that going back and forth. Okay, so I watched a few other videos of people taking out the starters. Let me put this thing back over here. I gotta take it to go dispose of it. I'm just not gonna throw it in the trash, or it's right here on the side. So I was watching other videos of people replacing the starters on these Trailblazers, and a lot of them were saying that it was a 15-minute thing, a 30-minute thing. And yeah, it's a 15-30-minute thing when you're in an actual mechanic shop, you know, which is fine. I mean, if you take it to a mechanic shop or you have anything that's cool and everything. But in the real world, man, we're working on a driveway or inside the garage with no lift or no nothing, you know what I'm saying? So maybe if you put it on the lift it up, undo the two bolts that are 14 mils, without headers, it'll probably just slide right through, you know, because you're standing up, you're in a better position, you're not crouched down, you're not on your back, your head's not on the cement, you're not putting pressure against your head on the cement, you know. You can probably finagle it to come down, and it will come down, and you'll get it out of there and put it back in, no problem, without headers and, you know, all that stuff. And the brake lines, you can push them to the side, or the AC lines, whatever those are, you can push them to the side, and it'll come on out. But since we don't have any of that stuff, and, you know, we're pretty much just working in the front yard or in the garage, I had to undo the bolts. Well, first we had to take off the power and ground off the battery, just to make sure nothing gets zapped along the way. So then after that, we took the two 14 mil bolts out. I threw them in like WD-40 to clean them out before we put them in there, or after we took them out to clean them out, because the new starter didn't come with the bolts. So once we did that, we were able to get it loose. And then from the front of the truck right here, with extensions, I took off the powers for the starter wire, and then the power wire for the actual starter. And then we were able to get it out from a little gap that we found inside there, and it just came right out. It took a little bit, but I mean, it came right out. Probably took us at least a solid like 20-30 minutes to get it out. And then after that, we put the starter the same way where we took it out. Probably took like 15 minutes to put it back in, and then like another like 5 minutes to put the terminals back on, and then probably took like another like 5 minutes to go ahead and slide it into position, and then, you know, 2 seconds just to put the bolts up. When I first put the starter in, like I said, it just like cranked, but the battery was dead from the truck sitting. So I put the jump box on it, and then that thing fired right up, and it sounded real good. So like I said, it started up, and, you know, it's problem solved, you know. Now that I put the starter in, you know, it doesn't make that clinking sound that I told you. I thought like my exhaust was hanging or a header was coming loose or something. So now I'm gonna fire this thing up. It's nice and quiet. What you hear right there, that's probably like the belt. I need to replace the belt, but I'm gonna replace all the pulleys and then put a new belt on it. But I mean, that thing sounds like beautiful, you know, minus the little belt sound that it's making. rip the door off. But I'm gonna be getting junkyard up and soon.